Late at night, the streets glisten under the heavy rain, each droplet tapping like a drumbeat against the roof of Daniel Harper's sleek black car. The city is quiet, almost asleep, except for the occasional flicker of streetlights and the hum of his engine. As he turns a corner, his eyes catch something unusual at a dimly lit bus stop. There, on the cold metal bench, lies a small figure, fragile, curled up tightly as if trying to disappear from the world. The flickering light reveals a little girl, no older than 8, her hair damp from the rain, her shoulders trembling beneath a thin, faded blanket. She hugs a worn-out teddy bear to her chest, its fabric frayed, one button eye missing, yet clearly her most treasured possession. Daniel's foot instinctively eases off the gas, his car slowing almost to a stop. For a moment, the warmth of his leather seat feels unbearably uncomfortable compared to the biting cold outside. His mind tells him to keep driving. It's late, it's not his business, someone else will help. But his heart lingers on the sight before him. He watches her for a few seconds that feel like minutes, torn between moving on and stepping out into the rain. There's something about the way she's curled up, small, vulnerable, and alone, that pulls at a memory deep inside him. A memory of nights when he, too, wished someone would notice. The light turns green, but Daniel's hands remain still on the steering wheel. Back in his penthouse, the city skyline stretches before Daniel, lights twinkling like a million distant stars. Yet none of it feels as dazzling as it usually does. He sits in his leather armchair, a glass of aged whiskey untouched on the table beside him. The steady hum of rain against the windows becomes a cruel reminder of the little girl's shivering frame at the bus stop. He tries to distract himself, checks emails, reviews tomorrow's meeting schedule, even turns on the television. But nothing holds his attention. Every time he blinks, he sees her clutching that worn teddy bear, her tiny shoulders shaking beneath that paper-thin blanket. Daniel leans back, staring at the ceiling. His mind drifts to a time long before the suits, the private jets, and the boardrooms, back to the cramped foster home where he spent his childhood. He remembers the hunger, the cold, and the gnawing fear that no one cared. It's a past he's worked hard to bury, yet tonight, the memory breaks through like a flood. He tells himself there's nothing he can do, he doesn't even know who she is or where she came from. But as the night deepens, so does the weight pressing on his chest. He realizes he can't just move on. By the time dawn creeps into the sky, Daniel has made a silent promise: today, he will go back to that bus stop. He will find her. He doesn't know what comes next, only that he has to try. The morning sun filters weakly through the clouds as Daniel steps out of his building, his driver waiting by the car. But today, there's no rush to the office, no urgent call to attend. Instead, he gives a simple instruction: take me to that bus stop. When they arrive, the bench is empty. The space where the little girl had been is now just wet metal, rainwater pooled in its grooves. Daniel's chest tightens. He scans the street, searching for any sign of her. He crosses to a nearby convenience store, pushing open the door with quiet urgency. The shopkeeper, a middle-aged man with kind eyes, looks up from behind the counter. Daniel describes the girl, the teddy bear. The shopkeeper sighs. I've seen her. She's been around for a few weeks now. Her mother passed away, no family around here. Sometimes she sits outside drawing, other times she just sleeps. The words hit Daniel like a blow. Without hesitation, he asks if anyone knows where she might be now. The shopkeeper mentions a small shelter a few blocks away. Daniel's pace quickens as he approaches the shelter. Inside, the air smells faintly of soup and damp clothes. Children's voices echo faintly from the back. In a quiet corner, there she is, sitting cross-legged on the floor, sketching with a stub of a pencil on crumpled paper. Her teddy bear sits beside her, guarding her as she draws. Daniel takes a slow breath, feeling both relief and a deeper ache in his heart. Daniel steps closer, his polished shoes clicking softly against the worn linoleum floor. The little girl doesn't look up at first, lost in the lines of her drawing, a small house with smoke curling from the chimney. When she finally notices him, her eyes widen, wary but curious. He kneels down so they're at the same level, offering a gentle smile. "Hey," he says softly, "I saw you last night, at the bus stop. You shouldn't have to be there." His voice is warm, without the sharp edge of pity. She hugs her teddy bear tighter, as if shielding herself from the world. "I'm Daniel," he continues, "and I want to help. You don't have to be cold anymore. You don't have to be alone." Her gaze flickers to the door, then back to him. There's hesitation in her eyes, the kind born from too many broken promises. Daniel notices and simply says two words that seem to carry all the sincerity in his heart: "Come with me." For a long moment, she doesn't move. Then, slowly, she nods. Daniel reaches out his hand, and after a pause, her small fingers slip into his. He leads her outside, where his driver waits. That afternoon, she is wrapped in warm clothes, sitting at a dining table with a plate of food so full it almost overwhelms her. Daniel watches from across the table, a quiet certainty settling in him. This is exactly where she's meant to be. Weeks pass, and the chill of that rainy night feels like a distant memory. The little girl, whose name Daniel has learned is Emily, now lives in a safe foster home Daniel personally arranged. He visits often, always greeted by her bright smile and the teddy bear that never leaves her side. One crisp Saturday morning, Daniel is invited to Emily's school for an art exhibition. The room is alive with chatter and laughter, walls lined with colorful paintings. Emily stands proudly by one of the displays, waving when she spots him. Her painting shows a man in a dark coat standing at a rainy bus stop, holding an umbrella over a small girl clutching a teddy bear. Above it, in careful handwriting, she's titled it, "The Man Who Stopped." Daniel feels an unexpected sting in his eyes. As the teacher praises Emily's progress, he barely hears her. He's too focused on the little girl who, against all odds, now has hope in her eyes. Later, as they walk outside, Emily skips beside him, her hand in his. She looks up and says, "I think you were sent to find me." Daniel smiles, glancing down at her. "Maybe," he says, "or maybe you were sent to remind me what matters." The sun breaks through the clouds, warm and golden. In that moment, Daniel realizes something profound. Sometimes, it's not the millions you earn that define you, but the moments you choose to stop, and change someone's life forever.